Oh my god, what are you guys doing in my bathroom? Jesus Christ, have some respect, people.
Well, he wasn't kidding, was he?
I'm sitting on the toilet and then you people are just in my bathtub? This is unacceptable. Also, put some clothes on, Spacey.
What?
Well, this isn't how I expected to be spending my Sunday, but it looks like I should probably take a break from playing Call of Duty to do something a little bit more meaningful. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Big Brain Boogaloo, episode number 32, yada, 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 yada. Astro, Jazz, myself, and with guest Nexus Spacey from Top 500, and we're feeling great. Let's talk about some controversial stuff. How is everyone?
Pretty good.
Fine, yeah.
Jazz, you sound like you're, Oh, mind when you get out, please don't knock that soap over. It's not mine, and the bottle is made of glass.
Oh no! I want to die.
Yes. Well, you know, that's a feeling that a lot of people share. I guess you could just go out in public without a mask on.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't, no, this is my safe space. Don't do this to me. I just want a moment to not think about it.
A moment's peace for Jazz. Let's grant her her wishes. Please, Jazz, designate a topic from the wheel.
Okay, so we have a lot. Just what is with Overwatch and like, you know, there's nothing for about a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden in the exact same day we have like 15 different newses. like
they get
so
burst info.
Yeah, they do. It's feast or famine, man. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to be talking about Overwatch League and the effect of Valorant, and also Apex Legends to a certain extent.
Oh, yes.
Then we're going to be talking about the recent Discord interview that was held by many of our friends, including Ian Gamer, with the one and only Jeff Camplin. And then we are going to talk about a little bit about Overwatch 2, how that's going, and also the PC Gamer interview that happened a while back that we completely missed because I apparently was sleeping at the wheel. My bad. So yeah, that's going to be the topics of today. So I think first and foremost we should talk about Overwatch League, because this is probably going to take a while. It's going to get
both
the
Overwatch
most
League and the
paid.
Tier 2's like teams as well.
Yep.
Everything seems to be breaking.
Make sure everyone's on the same page. Recently, Overwatch League has been having a rough time, to put it lightly. We've had experienced like a lot of players retiring just in April and March alone. Then we have a lot of teams disbanding, specifically in contenders. Everyone being moved, of course, to online play because of the recent Miss Coronavirus, who's still fucking up everyone's day. And just generally things not going all too well. And also like many of the faces of Overwatch, you know, like really famous like Twitch streamers who might have been in league with Overwatch League, but not like in it, have been going to Valorant, been going to Apex Legends, etc., etc.
The Great Betrayal.
The Great Betrayal.
They've been really eager to jump ship, but never stayed at the same ship for too long before going back.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the thing. It's kind of like there's a lot of people like are questioning whether or not this is permanent, and like here's the thing. The reason, like, we have to think about the reason why this is happening in the first place, and it's probably because of the fact that like Jeffrey Kaplan has looked in our faces and said, "The game is done. We are finished. We're not doing anything until Overwatch 2. Don't expect anything, please." And they announced Overwatch 2 with still no release date as of recording, because by the time it's uploaded, it might be 5 weeks from now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 releasing approximately this century.
Roughly. So I kind of don't blame people just for like saying like, listen, Overwatch is not going to be like, there's going to be a natural decline in viewership and also player base. So it's kind of like, yeah, of course things are going to like break down, but I don't know. It's just kind of like an inevitable shit show that has really bad timing because of Valorant and stuff like that.
I didn't foresee it being as bad as it was, because a lot of people, even entire Overwatch League's teams, were just disbanding, left, right, and center.
Yeah, like the Titans, like
The entire Titans left. A lot of big people, they just got up, left.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I think that roughly in the list that I showed you guys, I think there's roughly around like upwards of 30. Just people. And not including the teams and stuff like that. Just 30 people.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. Which is
Quite a lot.
I wonder who predicted something like this. Who crystal gazed and preordained the decline of Overwatch? Maybe it was Jazz?
Was it? I can't remember.
Yes, I remember you saying something along the lines of, "Oh, yes, Overwatch League will be destroyed in the near future when Mars and Jupiter align, and Jeff Kaplan says the content drought will last until Overwatch 2 comes out, which will be an indefinite time. Yes, I can see through my third eye."
I just like being bullied publicly.
Apparently so.
But I definitely know Astro has been like lighting it up, fam.
Yeah.
Being real smug.
Yeah, like this is like one of the biggest "I fucking told you so" moments in ages for me, and it's quite satisfying in many ways.
For once, you are correct, Astro, and it is unfortunate that it is at the expense of a game that we love. But it seems that Overwatch, like most people, must suffer a very serious blow before it can rebuild itself from the ground up. Let's say
It'll rise like a phoenix. It'll
From the
die
ashes.
first.
Yeah.
I mean, depends, you know? Like, here's the thing I'm worried about is, you know, lots of games are being held, being postponed, etc., etc. This isn't news to anyone.
Yeah.
So what I'm worried about is, you know, Blizzard already takes their, like, sweet-ass time.
Oh, yeah.
doing
To
it
say the
right.
least.
sure, forever.
So, like, can you imagine how much torture this is for them? Because it's made it even slower. So I'm imagining Overwatch 2 has probably been, for now, slow down considerably. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Slow down considerably. So we're looking at possibly
A year.
no new content. I mean, like, yeah, for a possible year, like as in this time next year. You know? And
Not looking
remember,
forward to
we're in the middle of the Overwatch League as well. So, like, what are they going to do for next year's league? Exactly. It's kind of like my thinking.
That's a good question, actually.
Well, are going to be upset. I can promise you that if they aren't already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, you know, will there be an Overwatch League next year? Simply because of the very extreme circumstances that Overwatch themselves and Blizzard have found themselves.
Crab
Oh
dance.
my God.
Overwatch League is gone. Crab
I think
dance.
the concept
Yeah.
of Overwatch League will still be around, just because they paid the contract.
Mm.
I mean, YouTube bought it pretty much. They're like, yeah, well, you have to exclusively send it out here. So it'll probably exist,
For now.
not have as much traction, like even at all.
Like Heroes of the Storm Pro.
Oh, that's rough.
No,
Pega.
like the Paladins Pro scene, kind of.
Oh.
It's like, yeah,
Ooh.
looking
That's-
rough.
That'll be embarrassing, you know, how the mighty will have fallen. It's really a shame, too, because Overwatch kind of felt to me like it was the really high-end, classy, overpriced champagne that, like, you would drink, and it was kind of better than the other champagnes. But, you know, it was really about the air that it gave you to consume it. And now we're kind of in the situation where everybody realizes that champagne is just rebottled $6 grocery store Prosecco, and now everybody's like, oh, we've been betrayed. No.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, it's like a fine wine, right? That had been aged for a while, but over the last 2 years, just become fucking vinegar. Like,
Great
You left it
vinegar.
out for too long.
yeah, pretty much.
Astro unscrewed the cork and it's a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
A
The
mistake.
thing is, right? The thing is, and this is kind of like the kicker, because it's kind of like, I can't really blame Blizzard for making the decision that they did, you know? With saying that, like, listen, we're just not going to update the game anymore. Because, like, that's fair enough, and just focus on Overwatch 2, because, you know, you want the focus to be on there, because that's going to bring in the new shit, you know?
Yeah.
Well, wait,
That's going to bring...
The game will be updated. The game
Yeah.
will receive
Yeah,
balance
but it's not
patches.
going to be... It's not going
It'll
to
not
be...
be heavily updated. It'll see.
Yeah.
It won't see like content.
Quite
No, it'll
quite
see,
honestly,
like,
though,
5-6 new skins.
yeah, like quite honestly though, I'm looking forward to a period where its balance changes, because I think the balance is like probably the thing that more than anything else is throwing people off. Like,
But the thing is, like, that might not even be true, because by the time Overwatch 2, and we'll get to this, Overwatch 2, we could be playing with completely different heroes, as Ian kind of
it's
suggested in
true.
his recent video.
oh yeah, I watched
Like,
that.
that's kind of the gamble.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
The
Overwatch
symmetric
it might
treatment
bring
for
some
everyone.
drastic, maybe even unnecessary change. But it'll be fun and hectic as all hell.
yeah,
Mhm.
like my big my like for anyone who watches the video, please go watch it. Like the part where he was like, maybe they'll change Roadhog's hook to like not be an annoying mechanic, and I just sat there and put my head in my hands and went, no.
But you know, they could make Roadhog a tank. Who knows? Or maybe a damage hero who can keep that hook mechanic that some people dislike. But
Oh, who knows? They might make Widowmaker a support.
oh yes.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll
that's...
take.
Ooh.
That'll take. I like
But she
Well,
can
better,
only
you know.
support Doomfist because lore.
Oh god.
We love that. You know, I'm
Healer
waiting for the day.
Doomfist.
75% health Widowmaker. Oh yeah, that'll be the day.
75 health Widowmaker. I'll take it.
No. Widowmaker as a tank.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
no.
Oh, I mean, have you seen that ass? Oh my god.
Okay.
It inflates.
Oh yeah, that's right. It used to. I remember
That
that.
was an old mechanic.
That was probably the biggest nerf she ever got. TBH.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she hasn't really gotten much of a nerf since.
That's a buff. It made her hitbox smaller.
True.
Astra, right here, could you do me a favor? Edit in, like, you know, a really sad song while we close up on Widowmaker's ass. It inflates, like, R.I.P.
Why did
Rip-
this
rip
happen
ass.
to me?
I'll consider it.
Yes! It's a birthday gift.
Yes. Okay.
A very belated birthday gift. But anyway, back on track. The thing is that, like, you know, it's really difficult because, like, Overwatch 2 is so full. It's like smoke and dagger. Like, I have no idea what's going on with it, and anything. It could go anywhere, and we don't even know what's coming or when it's coming or what's happening or anything like that. And I think, you know, Blizzard's kind of like ways of like, oh, we don't want to upset people and we don't want to have high expectations and et cetera, so they keep everything quiet. It's kind of like biting them on the ass, because it's kind of like, we have no idea what's going on, man.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely don't feel all that secure. Because
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you know, you can't look at someone's face and be like, that's it, folks. And we're like, okay, what's next? And they're like, Overwatch 2. Okay, when's that coming? Like Looney Tunes, like, exit.
He's just out of here.
I'm fucking dead.
So yeah, that's kind of like the. I almost question why announce Overwatch 2 at all
I
at
mean,
this stage. And this is coming from someone who's really excited for Overwatch 2. Like, please don't confuse my confusion for like hatred. But I'm kind of like,
I kind of guess they had to because they didn't have anything else to announce. And they
Yeah,
wanted to
Diablo
announce
4?
something.
World of Warcraft. Actually, all of the things that they announced in BlizzCon pretty much have not come to fruition. Like, have you guys noticed that?
Oh yeah,
Like everything big that they announced, like nothing has like an announcement date. Everything's up in the air. No one knows what's happening in all corners of like all franchises that Blizzard have right now. So it's kind of like, what's going on?
they
I
knew
need
COVID
answers.
came before it did. They were like, let's extend this. COVID will come.
Yes,
Oh Jesus!
the prophecy is true.
Oh
Blizzard knew.
please.
Prognostication.
And I know that's a really glum note to kind of like end on, but you know, it's kind of like how I feel basically at this stage. Is, you know, if you had this much uncertainty, why announce it? Like, wouldn't, or even at that, like, just say like it'll come when it comes, and just continuously update Overwatch 1.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like Jeff said recently that like, if they were to bring in a new hero, that pretty much has to like push Overwatch 2 back. But it's kind of like, is that a bad thing at this stage?
yeah.
Like, is that a bad thing?
With the amount of delays going on, like, I don't know if it's a bad thing even.
No, I'm starting to think that like, you know, I'm of the opinion that like a delayed game is eventually good,
Yep.
but like a rushed game is forever bad, and I'd much rather just wait and, you know, get smaller updates, maybe one new hero, maybe one new map, something like that.
In a year's
And it doesn't
time.
have to be, yeah, in a year's time, of course, and then announce it whenever it's ready. You know, send it out.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like the big thing that people tend to forget is like Overwatch 2 was not originally like in the books for the Overwatch team, right? Like they never really planned on having a sequel until, you know, Jeff got called up to the Activision office and was like, "We need you to make a sequel," and you know, there's the whole story with how like Jeff basically had to beg the bigwigs to like allow him to make it like basically an addition to the game instead of like an entire new game. So I feel like the fact that it's maybe being handled a little clunky. It's a little clunky how they're handling this. I'm not particularly surprised, nor do I blame them, especially since they have the virus now to add on top of it. Because, like, they weren't expecting to suddenly have to pull so many resources from the game to make a sequel/expansion pack, basically.
Yeah, because we could be seeing like Astro and I had this conversation in the server link down below.
Yes.
Join up.
Join the Discord.
About like
Winky face.
Winky face.
Oh god, that was
Fuzzy.
too good of an impression. It's scary.
Thank you. I have those sometimes. Where was I? Oh yeah, we were having a conversation about like the possible team, like the number of people that might be working on Overwatch 2, and that is taking into account that like Blizzard notoriously likes to have smaller teams to work on the most of the game, and then slowly bring in more and more people as things ramp up and as you go further down the department line, etc., etc. So from what we know, that like they started off at roughly around like 40 people, and then now we know that like there's half a StarCraft from the Cancel StarCraft project. They've been moved over, and then there's a couple of people from like World of Warcraft have come over. So like at max, there's probably around like 100 people working on Overwatch 2, which I can only imagine. Imagine like trying to organize 100 people online.
Yeah.
Like, ew.
Yeah, that's
Ew.
rough.
And there's probably only like a skeleton crew, really, like actually on Overwatch. So
I mean, if Jeff said that like bringing out Echo nearly lost him like several years off his life, like I can only imagine what an entire new
It's
game.
true.
yeah,
But like bringing an update live at all for them is like quite a bit more stressful now because they
Oh,
have
they're
to do
doing
it.
it from home.
They have to do it from home,
yep,
or or from the one guy that is allowed to go into the Blizzard offices.
yep.
Like that is very stressful. If anything goes wrong, they have to communicate it online and then say like just pull the plug, pull the plug.
I mean, that's sort of what happened with when the experimental card first went live, wasn't it?
Yes, all the servers
Yeah.
kind of died.
Yeah.
Kaput.
So
It's just a really shit situation. It's so unfortunate. It really is because
But it's
if there was
completely
any
excusable.
chance of, yeah, it's just so shit. It's just so shit. And the thing is that like I really don't see any way of like fixing it without just the game coming out. And the thing is that like that's probably going to be a year. If there was any hope of it coming around before BlizzCon, which I mean I've expressed it probably wasn't, but you know. Anyway, and it's just so sad. I feel so sorry for like those in Overwatch League. I feel so sorry for the devs. I just feel sorry for everyone involved. It's just really
yeah, like
shit.
as much as I have no sympathy for Overwatch League as like an organization, I feel bad for the players. Like they,
Because ultimately they didn't. That's their job.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
like people are losing their jobs. Like that's not fun. And like people are probably really insecure and like not sure about like if this is financially a viable thing or anything like that, because like once you go into Overwatch, that's kind of like you're probably going to be there for about a year or two,
yeah. I mean,
roughly.
Well, more than that, probably, right?
Depends.
Depends.
I would assume their contracts would have a
Depends.
long-lasting duration, because what you would really want to avoid is in a game as complex as Overwatch is to have turnover, especially in the balance department.
A lot of the contracts are like 1 or 2 year contracts though.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
consider how fast these players burn out. Like,
Oh yeah, and especially when you're on the blue and yellow team.
there's
The
two of
one in
those
the-
now.
Yeah,
There's two of
Oh,
those
yeah.
now.
If you're from Boston, you'll be boomed before you can say it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
yeah, there's like-
Boston. My
there's
hometown does
there's
not
already
do well.
like a Aww, Boston, R.I.P.
It's been such a long time.
The poor
But yeah,
Boston.
there's kind of like this awkward thing where it's like, you know, there's already like a lot of like pros and cons to Overwatch League, like joining it and going in through contenders and then going eventually onto the league and stuff like that. And then you
Contenders,
have like
what's that?
never heard of it.
Never heard of it. I only know Chips. Smile.
That's right. They just picked up Chips off of fucking Twitch and was like, "You're an Overwatch player now. you're a fucking Overwatch League player now. There you go."
Here, have a beat.
Yeet. Have they ever even played him?
Once.
No,
I haven't.
No, not at all.
I
Okay.
haven't played him once.
no, they haven't.
That fucking greaseball.
Gross.
God.
He
You guys
represents. He
are
represents
aiming to be
the.
cancelled today.
He represents the
Oh,
worst
yeah.
of the Doomfist mains. He's truly the worst we have to offer.
Oh my God.
But
I thought I was like, it's like, nah, I don't think I'm Overwatch League material. And it's like, Chips, I got picked up. And like, I have faith in myself now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's literally a trash can, so like maybe Spacey, you should put in the extra elbow grease. I mean, if you want to join a failing organization, it seems like a good time.
Crab dance.
I don't quite fancy sucking Twitch dick, so yeah, no, I don't think I'll join the Overwatch League before I'm actually good.
I mean, the other thing you have to remember is, like, keep in mind who the Titans were, right? Like, this was Runaway.
This was the greatest, probably most well-known team outside of the Overwatch League.
Yeah, this was
It had the greatest run of any new team ever.
yeah, like this was Runaway, and now it's not even certain that they're going to be able to continue playing Overwatch professionally. Like
Their team imploded, and so did their chances.
exactly, it's like what the fuck. I mean, yeah, I mean, again, you know, I hate Overwatch League for what it's done to the game itself, but these players, like, these people worked really hard, and it's just like, I feel sorry for them.
Must be rough to be
Yeah, that's
like,
kind
cast
of
aside like
what I
that.
mean. That's kind of what I meant by like, I'm not even sure there's going to be an Overwatch League next year. You know,
Yeah,
if like we're already down one team.
Oh no, and they won't be the last. Boston doesn't even have the legal requirement for a team.
that's true. They have 6 players. The minimum is 8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Well, Spacey, time to move to the U.S.
Oh fuck.
I don't think you could pay them.
Honestly, I don't think I'd mentally be okay with signing with Boston.
They have
Anywho,
a few good players, right? Or I guess maybe they
The
did. but
players
then
are
they quit.
good, but they're so mentally boomed that they become bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, the league works all the juice out of them to extract every last ounce of capacity.
Just like it does with the
Nothing but
game.
husks.
oh, do you think Blizzard are really regretting like all that like? We're going to tour around the world. We're going to bring our players
Oh,
all
yeah.
across the globe. Do you think they
Definitely now.
regret that?
Yes, I honestly think that was a terrible idea to try and do this
I mean, it was
sort of thing
it was
with this infrastructure.
a choice even then.
Yeah,
And now
it's like we are completely screwed.
Disaster
In
radius.
my opinion, it was an incredible idea. Kind of questionable execution, but now with Corona, it's just out of the window. There's nothing. It's just fucked.
Yeah, they literally built an arena here for it. Like, it's just like, why? I mean, cool and all, but like, why?
They
do you know
wanted-
what?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I just thought of something. Why did they build those arenas? Then announce that like Overwatch 1 was done. Say that like nothing was going to update. Wait.
Well, this is what I was talking about, right? Overwatch 2 was sort of a sudden thing. It was just like Activision was just like, you need to make Overwatch 2, and
I
so
think they
No,
planned it.
I just suddenly remembered all of the stadiums that they made, and I was like, wait, this even makes even less sense. How much money have they just thrown away for no reason?
Did they actually make stadiums, or did they just pay for stadiums?
some were made, some were just like renovated buildings.
Because most of them I know as like just buildings they hired. They're like, well, this is already an existing stadium. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
But no,
a bit
it's
of
quite
Oh,
crazy.
this is
And it's very sad to see those reservations for those enormous buildings sometimes just go to waste. Like, that entire touring thing is just... It's done. There's nothing you can do about it. It was such a cool idea. The execution wasn't incredible, but, like, I was kind of planning to go to London to see Overwatch League for the first time as a European player. As I had no
Aw.
other chance to see Overwatch League live.
Yeah, no.
Aw, that breaks my heart. This conversation just went so depressing. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
That would have been so hype, though. Like, could you?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, for your
I'm
own
very sorry
sake,
that happened.
Yeah, it makes me sad for you, and we have all loved and lost in Overwatch. We really
Yes.
have. So I think we can empathize with you on a different level since we are from within the community.
Mhm.
We know. And for any of you out there who are having a hard time coping with all of these things related to Overwatch, you can come to our server and tell us about it. We listen. Oh yes, even to the craziest,
Sometimes.
most delusional Bastion mains among us. We listen. Now, Jazz, please dramatically shift the topic.
Yes, I shall, because I'm desperately depressed.
By the
Okay,
gods,
so
aren't we all? This cognac will help.
very, very recently we had a Discord based. I have no idea how this happened. It just randomly showed up.
Yeah, apparently
Jeffrey
Ian
Cameron
basically told me. Ian basically told me
he literally.
he just got invited.
Wow. And he just kind of chose to join. It was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. That's very neat.
It happened. I wouldn't be shocked if like Jeffrey Kaplan was just like, I'm bored, and just added people, and it was just like,
It's just
ask
like,
me anything, man.
streamer friends,
Well, it
bring
wasn't-
me content.
It wasn't just Jeff though. There were a few other developers
Yeah,
as well. So
developers,
Now-
community managers, other people. Like they're all
Yeah.
there.
Do you think they were just bored? I'm still convinced they were just bored, and they were like, let's do it. Let's have some fun.
I think it's part of it.
think
Saturday night.
I mean, they
But
didn't really
anyway.
have anything like in this drought of content and just COVID. People just want anything. It doesn't matter what. They just want some juice. And when there's
Right.
no
Yeah.
content, that is the content people will be looking for. Because they can just say a bunch of things without going like, oh, we need to make a video, we need to make this, we need to make that, we need to be sure. No, just a very casual Discord conversation with a bunch of content creators in the
right.
same place.
Mm.
Which is very
I
wholesome.
agree.
All they have to do is talk.
Yes.
I think it goes back to like the whole like cloak and dagger thing that I talked about. It's like once they kind of like let loose and just know that like I think the Overwatch community are reasonable. I think people would understand like we're not getting Overwatch 2 tomorrow if you just say like, oh yeah, it's making good progress, or it's not really doing all that hot. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
I think people would
mean-
understand when they say it's like, well, I mean, the servers aren't on fire yet, but it's not really going too well.
Yet.
yeah, exactly. My
So
sorry, go ahead, Jazz.
no, you go. I've talked a lot.
Okay. My favorite thing from the whole interview was like Jeff literally saying like, "Yeah, Doomfist's punch is unintuitive." I'm just sitting
And
there
I
like,
couldn't agree more.
I'm just sitting there like, that is putting it lightly.
Indeed. Thanks for the clarification, Uncle Jeff. You've really shown a beacon of light upon a hero who I would not be surprised if he is heavily reworked by the time Overwatch 2 cometh.
Oh god, I hope he's not reworked.
I actually agree.
I
I wouldn't be
Largely
shocked if
all.
like I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of heroes got a lot of drastic changes, and I think Doomfist is going to be on top, you know, very far up the top of the list.
And
Oh,
seeing
man.
how
A lot
of
they've
people
changed,
have-
like character designs as well. I think like entire personalities, like traits of these characters could be changing soon.
that I don't think is as likely because I feel like
It's a possibility though.
it's a possibility, but I don't think it would be a smart idea.
Yeah, guys.
I mean, there's a lot of heroes that don't. This is going to sound really mean, but don't particularly have. I swear, this is going to sound worse than I mean
Be
it.
careful.
It
I
will
swear
be.
I'm not.
I'll
Okay,
take it.
wait, let me help you out. What Jazz is trying to say before she says it and gets literally cancelled by
No,
everyone
let
on
me-
the internet. Yes,
Let
Stacey.
let me say it. People won't
Okay.
care. I won't care if I'm hated.
Go ahead, Stacey.
Wait, hold on. What am I supposed to say?
Basically, okay, I'll just say it. Not a whole lot of heroes have. Some heroes don't have a strong personality. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, but to be fair, I feel like Doomfist is one character who really does though. Like I feel like there's a strong character like identity, especially to his kit already there.
Ah, yes.
So
A giant flying Nigerian man.
yes, exactly. So I don't think they're going to rework him, but I would hope at least that they more double down on his mobility rather than, just big man punch things.
Yes.
Big man punch thing, I don't know, seems pretty appropriate.
I mean, big man punch thing is kind of who he is, but big man fly is fun as hell.
Yes. Big man
Maybe they
punch
should make
things
it
and
easier,
fly.
Just slap some wings on him then. Just give him the mercy wings.
There you
No,
go.
just give him let him steal Mercy's suit.
Oh no.
Hell yeah. It still has the boob window as well.
Yeah! This suit is coming apart at the seams.
This is making me think of that one really cursed image of like the entire Talon team with just like Widowmaker's clothes. Anyone know what I'm referring to?
Yeah.
Or Spacey, that
Yes.
image you made with Lucio wearing Mercy's suit.
Oh no. Okay, so Astro, if you would be so kind to put that up right as we say it.
Okay.
It gives the viewers some visual to the absolute cursed shenanigans we're talking about.
Okay.
Pega.
That.
The more we ask Astro to like add things, the more days we're adding to when this video will be released.
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much.
it'll still be in time, right?
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 won't come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or in the next century.
Yeah.
Same time as Overwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Unknown release date. But I mean, to be honest, I forgot to say this in the first half, but I'm totally open to brand new things. I'm one of those people that's ooh, brand new shiny thing. Let's go for that. I want
my God.
I want change.
You
Yeah.
must be a Leo. That's such a Leo thing to say.
You
I
literally
like-
celebrated my birthday. A couple of weeks ago.
I know.
We
It's
talked
just,
on my birthday.
I know, Jazz. I'm doing the thing where I make fun of people who believe in horoscopes. I think that's what Overwatch needs. Overwatch needs a character that is super into mysticism and into horoscopes, and doesn't realize that all the magic that they're experiencing in their life is actually just technology. That's a good character concept.
Okay.
Do you know what would be really funny? If if how they killed people was saying I'm a whatever. I'm a Capricorn. I can't be friends with a Scorpio. And then
Oh my God,
Jesus.
Reaper was such a Libra? Libra?
Libra.
What? Libra? Dude, I don't...
Libra, there you go.
No, but I'm also very open to change, but it's just I'm not. My issues come when you start changing things that are already really kind of inlaid. I don't mind adding upon things and changing things slightly, but when you start taking away things that are already inlaid to the game, especially with an aging player base, me, it's just I'm not so fond of it.
Aging? You're 19.
No, aging.
What?
Aging as in they've experienced the game from the beginning and how it's
Back in
changed.
my day.
Back in my day, Mercy
Sim
can
was
raise more than
retort.
one person.
That's basically how I feel, Nexus.
I
Yes.
remember when Symmetra had absolutely no practical applications, yet still the gays flocked to her as though she was Gaga.
Yep. I remember that.
I remember when
Speaking
Lucio could speed boost so fast he broke the tick rate of the server.
That's right. There actually was a point when that happened.
Yes, it was.
Oh, man.
And I was there,
Yes.
enjoying it.
Speaking of changes, just to smoothly transition, Jeff made an interesting comment about an upcoming
Support
changes
element?
to the support roles, including lots of Moira changes.
Interesting.
Ooh.
They gave
The
those
Suck
I'm-
Queen?
specifically.
I swear to God, if they give her another like source meter, you guys are gonna hear me screech with pure joy. Like you guys are gonna open your window and you're guys gonna hear "Ah!" in the far off distance.
Oh my
What?
god.
What is this I hear? The cries of an Irish druid? Nani
Oh jeez.
will hear you
I
far
come
away.
at you like a banshee.
Good
It's
old
just like
Josh.
news reports. Irish lady screams so loud over video game character.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be. I'm. Listen, I'm someone who loves. Love is a strong word. Who likes playing Moira? This would be so healthy for her. Please.
Yeah, it would be good.
It's such a. It's such a small change. It's such a small, simple change that would honestly just die down a lot of anger.
So wait, so on the left side she has a damage resource meter, and
Mhm.
then on the right side she has the healing resource meter. And then when
Yeah.
she fires the damage orb, does it refill the healing meter? And then when she fires the healing orb, does it refill the damage meter? Or is it just you have to heal to refill the damage? No.
Ask Jeff, Zach. No one else knows.
Here's the thing. That's what I would suggest is that like the orbs also fill up whatever meter is required. You know, like healing would fill up the damage. Damage would fuel up the healing, etc., etc. That's what I would personally do. But if they just put on the meter, I'd be totally fine. If they just put on the meter, it's just such a small thing. It's that orb thing that I suggested is just like a tiny thing that they could do.
So what you get for like
please.
the same amount?
Please
so
put
like
on the
9
meter.
seconds? 9 seconds of primary fire, 9 seconds of secondary fire?
That's pretty
Probably,
much
like-
it.
Yeah.
I feel
That
like
would
I
actually
feel
be
like they could use it. I feel like they could use this as an excuse to like make her use her spray faster, but make it do more healing. Though I feel like that's a possibility. And honestly, I like
I mean,
that a
here's
lot
the
more
thing,
than
like-
her current setup.
Here's the thing, like Moira has an unusual amount of high eliminations. Like
Yes.
I'm talking like she has still the top tier in terms of raw healing, and also eliminations, which I think is just a bit
Well,
OTT, in my personal opinion.
Elam's isn't the same as damage.
It's true, and Elim's means a lot less because she does 1 damage to everybody with the damage orb, right?
Yeah.
It is
True,
significant,
but you have to
though.
consider that Brigitte, who is normally like rough and tough and like, you know, I'm going to kill things, like, and then Zenyatta, who is also the kill things support, they have roughly like 15 eliminations. Moira has 29.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ.
You know?
Yeah, it's a
You
lot.
know? Like,
That's a bit far
that's
from
kind
the
of what I
average.
mean. That's kind
I
of
mean-
what I mean, though.
I'm excited to see what they'll do for Moira. I used to enjoy playing Moira, but then she was meta for 3 months, and I was just like, I dread playing Moira now. But I'd like to see her get changed because her character is funny as shit.
Here's the thing. I'm very. It gives me good hope that like Jeff was like, listen, we're not gonna make her like give her a CS:GO gun. Like, just get that out of your brain. Like, but we will change her. And that like, they like know.
Samito,
They
calm
understand.
down. We're not giving her an AK-47. No.
So, did anything else caught anyone's eye? Because there's a lot.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
there is a lot.
Jeez.
I mean,
Yeah. The
uh,
Mercy skin, how they're focusing on light and dark skins, like, mostly, which is a very cool concept and theme, which Mercy really fits.
yeah,
Indeed.
true.
You
So
know,
I'm looking forward to seeing those.
it would be cool to have like Overwatch really out of character do like I know that this is really controversial because some games do this, like Smite and League of Legends, and their player base, they're okay with it, and I think that it's kind of gross. But if we could have like characters in costume, like more often, like, you know, Ian was talking about this in his video, like more pirate themed skins, I think
Yeah.
would be very, very nice. To you know, more undead.
Casual skins. Casual skins.
Casual, like
skins.
yeah. Casual skins are great, like formal wear skins. Maybe even something like, you know, like Mortal Kombat character cosplay, which would be hilarious, but also that would require, you know, Yeah, no,
rights
that would
and
never
stuff.
happen. That would never happen because Warner Brothers would never sign a pact with Activision unless Activision
Warner
owns
Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
That's a cakewalk compared to Nintendo.
Haha.
Oh, do you know what would be hilarious? Since Overwatch is on the Switch, if they got
Oh, no.
someone as a Mario skin.
Mario
Here.
Soldier.
No, that wouldn't suit. I think Mario Torbjorn is the only one you can do.
Yep.
Mario Torbjorn.
Or no, actually no, Mario Baptiste.
I was about to suggest that because
Yeah.
he jumps.
He
He's the
literally
jump
has a
man.
Mario
He
spray.
jumps!
He literally has a
He's a
Mario
jump
spray.
man.
It's literally called like Super
Jumpman.
Yeah, it's called Super Jumpman.
Get into the mushroom field.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't talk to me until like Cooking Mama skin for Anna. Like I'm
Oh
not
my
interested
God.
in anything else. Except
Okay,
for
okay.
that.
Don't talk to me until a fucking Samus skin for Farah.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero for Soldier. I think that's pretty lit.
I just want like imagine a Garrus skin for Doomfist because it would
That
literally
would
be the
look
exact same.
sick. You could have the thing in his chest, and then like he wouldn't bleed. He would sand instead of bleeding.
That would be
There's blood
cool.
in Overwatch, right? I don't even
Yes,
know.
there is.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
Not the
particle
Asian
effects,
version though.
not in the Asian version.
No, like the Chinese version doesn't have blood.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
Yes.
think-
We're really. Jazz, say something, please.
I was just about to say. This is going to be probably the last thing that we're going to talk about in terms of the Discord interview because we're running out of time, and to be honest, I'm slowly falling asleep. I did not sleep all that well last night, so I'm kind of like, I know. I'll talk about it like afterwards, but anyway, we have Jeff was asked by Ian, our boy. Hello, Ian.
Hello,
Lord
Ian.
Ian.
That's scary. Don't do that again. You all spoke at the exact same time, like an AI.
Yes.
like a fucking cult.
Can you imagine an
Hello,
AI?
Master Ian.
Can you imagine an AI made up with the compound consciousness of Zek and I? That would be
Oh God.
awful. It would literally just argue with itself until
I
it
was-
fell
yeah.
apart.
Anyway, back to the point before we go off the rails again. So Jeff was asked by Ian whether or not he regretted some of the, hero releases in the past, like lifespan of Overwatch. And of course, Jeff mentioned the dreadful time that they had with Hammond. But also he said something very interesting that, like, he doesn't feel too much regret in releasing DPS, which is kind of spicy given the controversy with Echo. Like, I know a lot of people were upset about, like, Echo being a DPS, you know?
Yeah.
And for him to, like, just say, like, we really don't care. We're gonna be... We realize the problem that, like, there's not a whole lot of supports and tanks, but that doesn't mean we're not just gonna stop making
Ignore
DPS.
DPS, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
He
I
said if
think
he had the
is-
chance to redo it though, like he would have focused a bit more on tanks and DPS and spreading it out equally. But
Mhm.
as it stands, he doesn't regret adding as many as he did.
Yeah. Like as far as Jeff is concerned, it seems he doesn't regret adding any of the heroes or kits that they did. It's more that he regrets, like, very, very specific interactions, it seems. Like I know that one thing he really regrets is, like, the ability to have D.Va eat ultimates.
When did he say that? Was this in
I think he just
the...
kind of
I
said he
remember that.
regrets adding defense matrix in the way it is now.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'll
Just,
look that
it
up later.
wasn't good enough when it was launched though. Like, it was 4 seconds, but you couldn't toggle it, so you just had to sit there
And
with
hope.
D-Matrix up and do nothing.
Yeah. So
Honestly, people would have figured it out. Like, if we were as smart with Overwatch as we are now, like back then, we would have figured it out.
I mean,
Nexus.
speaking of those,
Most
because,
people are
like,
still garbage at this game.
I'm talking.
I mean, there's
for,
also-
like Masters and GN, like.
I mean, you say that, but also Diva's rework came in like 2 years after the game, the release of the game.
A year and a half, yeah.
No,
Wait,
2 years,
2
roughly.
years? Really?
It was just
Really?
before. Yeah, it was just before. No, actually, it was just before. What was it?
Because I
Retribution.
remember. Huh.
Huh.
Wait, you mean the
Roughly.
missile rework, right? Where they
Yeah,
lowered
yeah,
the...
yeah.
Oh yeah, because the first rework like was before I even joined.
Yeah, I remember that. That was, yeah.
Because remember, there was like a huge. During around that time, there was a huge amount of reworks going on. There was like Sim, there was Hanzo, then there was a Diva, or some combination of those.
Yeah.
You know, they all came at a very rapid pace. So yeah, that was roughly around Retribution.
They had probably been building them up for a while, and they just wanted to like get rid of them now that they've been sitting around for so long.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's very interesting, like hearing, like he does say, like right here, if we were to do it all over, we'd have a better balance between tank support and DPS. But I think never adding DPS again until we have even numbers is a huge mistake. So, and
I do agree.
I do agree. Like, I know a lot of people were really, really upset about Echo not being a supporter. But, you know, once I got the explanation of, like, the dev saying that, like, hey, we tried different iterations, but to be honest, like, nothing really fit, I was like, alright.
And to be fair,
I would...
and to be fair, I mean, they've basically explicitly said that, like, they have the easiest time designing DPS, and they have the hardest time designing tanks. So...
Oh, well, like, tanks, like, how many... you can come up with a lot of iterations of, like, where barriers are, but, like, you can't just make tanks without barriers, the game will continue to fall apart the way that it has.
Or can you?
Oh my god.
You can't continue to make things
Dun,
without
dun,
barriers,
dun.
or you can?
You
I
can't.
think you can.
Dude, otherwise, like, you obliterate the way the game works if you introduce more and more ways to tank without barriers.
That's
Which
true.
I know sounds silly, but it's true. And this is why Jeff, in that post, I can't remember, I think it was to Ian's question, he was like, you know, like, oh, tanks are great and all. It's unfortunate that CC and barriers exist the way that they do in Overwatch, but they're necessary. So we're looking about tweaking them again to make them less frustrating. I think that's the TLDR of that post.
CC, healing, and barriers specifically.
Yeah,
those
CC
three.
healing and barriers. Because like healing, like the problem with healing is that if it doesn't basically make you unkillable, it's not sufficient. And if it's not sufficient, then you shouldn't be even healing, just speed boost and damage boost, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
so that's
I think is fair enough. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if someone is getting pocketed, that should require focus fire. Like,
Right.
Yes, and it still does. Like, oh, Jazz just died. Jazz is back.
A little moment for Astro to cut out.
But no, you know,
Is she back?
Yeah, I'm back. Hi.
you know, I think it's. I'm honestly of the mindset of like barriers and healing and CC. Like, fair enough. Like, they should require teamwork to get around. Like, there should only be specific like exceptions to, you know, ways that you can solo deal with like a pocketed enemy, or, you know, a Rhine sitting behind his barrier, or, you know, like a Sombra hacking you. Like, that's fair enough. So
I kind of feel like, you know, how do I explain this? I remember Ian and Euclid were having like a podcast together, and they were talking about the whole disparity between supports and tanks, etc., etc. And then, you know, with Ian, you know, he's made a lot of like hero concepts and stuff like that, most of which are tanks because he is a tank main. He's loud and proud. And I remember it being really funny when he was like, yeah, I don't know what how else you would make tanks without barriers. And I'm like, but you did a lot, and all of them are very interesting. So I do kind of question the fact that, like, are tanks all that difficult to make? Or is it the fact that, like, possibly, and this might be a spicy hot take that I don't have a whole lot of, facts backing up, but I have a sinking feeling. It is a lot of the design team behind characters and stuff like that mostly DPS.
I think it's possible.
If that makes sense.
I mean, to be fair, the leader of the balance and character design team is Jeff Goodman, so
Yeah, fair enough.
But
I do think they have succeeded with making non-barrier tanks.
They have, yeah.
With some of them, like look at Diva,
Here's the
for
thing.
instance, a very good example.
I think the problem is more like making main tanks.
I was
really
just about to
difficult.
say.
But
I was
look
just
at
about to
Hammond,
say.
though. My man Hammy.
Hammond is okay. There's certain heroes that are. There's three. People don't realize, but there's three certain factions in tanks and supports specifically. There's a main, there's a secondary, and there's a mix. What I refer to as a mix, where those are heroes that are. It depends on the composition that you're in, and also your personal playstyle, in which that dictates whether or not that is a main hero or a secondary hero. So for instance, Hammond can work as a main tank and a secondary tank, depending on the people that he's around and the personal skill of the player.
Sigma
Mercy's
used to
another
be able to
great
do
example.
Oh, he
Sigma-
still can in a way.
that. Oh, you can't play main tank Sigma. You can't play main tank
You
Sigma.
haven't seen KSA.
Okay, that's one person.
A 4700 Sigma player.
Oh yeah, that's the
yes.
standard metric.
Yes, we look at one outlier.
That
and
guy
that proves
is
our information
fucking
on the
crazy.
research.
Anyways, back to the topic of like Hammond and shit. It's like, for instance, Hammond Orisa. Orisa's the main tank.
Yeah.
But in like Diva Ball's the main
Ball's
tank.
the main tank.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the three vague categories of each tank and support hero falls onto, and it's either one. But I've noticed recently there's a problem with a lot of tanks and supports where they're mostly secondary, and then this is all leading back to when GOATS was happening and when we didn't have like 2-2 and stuff like that. And Jeff said that he wanted to kind of nudge tanks and supports away from main and secondary binaries,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because he said that it's tough enough to get one tank, let alone a main tank and a secondary tank. So we just want, and it makes sense. But now that we're in Force 2-2-2, it's a bit it becomes a lot more noticeable that this change has happened, because a lot of tanks fall into secondary or the mixture, and then there's kind of just Reinhardt.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's a coincidence
do
in
agree.
Reinhardt being really,
No matter
really
what
popular.
composition you play, no matter what hero you give him with, he is always, and I mean always, the main tank.
Yeah.
You can play Reinhardt with any other tank, and he'll be the main tank.
Yeah,
Ryan Orisa, Ryan's the main tank. Ryan Hogg, he's still the main tank. Ryan
Yeah,
Sig's still the main tank.
my biggest problem with Reinhardt currently is not that Reinhardt is overpowered as a main tank, but Orisa, Sigma, and Winston are not pulling enough weight as main tanks.
Well, Winston isn't comparable to the others because Winston is a dive tank, so I would say that you can't really look at him in that same category, since
and
you can
Orisa
still
and
play
Sigma
him.
work together.
Well, yeah, but
Mostly.
only together, and that's kind of Reinhardt can work
I think
with
that's
anything.
fine though.
Reinhardt can work with anything, so it's just that's not quite fair.
And you would never want to play Reinhardt Sigma, because if the enemy runs Reinhardt Zarya, you are over.
Ryan
100%
Sigma works
game
pretty well.
over. Dude, one
Ryan's-
Zarya beam and your Sigma is gone. It's
Yeah.
2 seconds and he's dead.
Believe
And
me,
it's
I've lived it. I've lived it many times.
It's right, he has suck, maybe he can eat grab. Not with that fucking hitbox.
it's
I'll
pain.
shoot grab at your feet and you won't even be able to eat it, even if you're looking down. Stupid.
Yeah, Zach, you saw that VOD review.
I did.
was-
Astro is there. He fucking knows Zarya's gonna grab. He goes to eat. Zarya shoots the grab at him. It lands on his feet. Doesn't eat it.
It doesn't need it,
So fucking
and then
slow.
she just beams me to death.
Yeah, it's like oh, you pulled your shield away in 1 second.
Dead.
Great. In the time it takes for your shield to come off of cooldown, you died, and you weren't even getting focus fired. It was just the Zarya and like the Mercy damage boosting her, and you died.
I am a main tank, by the way.
Yes, you are a main tank, and so this is the problem: is that like Blizzard didn't want to have the distinction between min and off tank, so they tried to fuck everything up and get rid of that, and then the shield nerfs happened, which were a good thing. But
Generally,
then they
yes.
still had this like broken situation where like the main off tank distinction was sort of getting drowsy. No, make them specific distinctions. Make it very blatant who you hide behind. Because
Yes.
if you don't, you're gonna always have this problem. Like it's easy. Winston has a bubble. He
Well,
puts
maybe
it
they
down.
don't want it to be like.
Do not hide
you
behind
have
a
to hide
Roadhog.
behind your tank. Because
Well then,
there
then
are
don't make things so
competitions.
fucking lethal.
Well, I mean, look, okay. I don't like long range
Can-
damage, alright?
Can I
That's
just
the
make my
thing that-
point?
Yes,
Yes.
Jazz.
Real quick. I'm just gonna like shoot this out there because like I don't have that much to say. I just have this one point. I kind of said that like because of the destruction of the main and secondary kind of categories, is that like inadvertently every single category has become a DPS of some sort.
Yes. Yes.
Because
thank
remember-
you.
Remember ages ago, before the shield nerfs happened, I said the reason why double shield is a thing is because no other tank can actually tank. They are fat DPS. And I kind of feel like this is going to be spicy, but I also feel like supports are going through the exact same thing. And I think 3-2-1
Queen.
really highlighted that.
Yes,
because the
it
fact that, like-
did.
Yeah. like I hate 3-2-1, but it pointed things out, and like it's
We
makes the board
Overwatch
feel
has
so-
become
Ugh.
Overwatch has become fat DPS, DPS,
Mm-hmm.
and shitty DPS, and that is it.
No,
I mean,
no. Fat
yeah.
DPS,
You go, girl.
DPS, and DPS with cool utility things.
yeah. I mean,
True.
to be fair, I don't
And
think
Moira.
you can apply the fat DPS to every tank and support. Like, I feel like
I mean,
I feel-
to an extent,
Mm.
like most of them are.
I mean, I feel like, for example, I feel like, you know, or should I say, I feel like there are specific sources of the problem, but I don't think every tank and support is a source. Like, for example, I would say that Zarya is a source.
Yes.
I would say that well, really, it's just sort of Zarya. Like,
Not
Roadhog counts.
Roadhog
is
counts,
designed
but that's
horribly.
Roadhog counts, but that's sort of what Roadhog is. So I give him a
Yeah,
pass.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point I'm making, is that
That is kind of the
everyone has
point.
become that.
It is.
Is that like,
Jazz.
you know, there's a difference between Zenyatta being a DPS and just, you know, that's his thing. And then what happened with Baptiste, where he was a
Yeah, he
main
just-
healer, and
yeah.
now he's just kind of.
Exactly.
That's kind of what I mean.
but
Like,
that's
There's no
that's sort of what
there's
I mean.
no
though.
problem in having hybrids of DPS. I think that's perfectly fine. Or secondary, the secondary class. I think that's totally fine. It's just the fact that like there's only one main tank now, that's Reinhardt, and there's
Yeah.
only one main healer left, and that's Anna. And I
Yeah.
think that's a huge. I
It's a
don't
big
think there's a
problem.
coincidence
I
that
don't completely
that both of them are
agree with it.
really popular
I mean,
as well.
I mean, this is why I always wave my hands in the air and say, guys, it's really not a good idea that Mercy has 30% damage boost. It makes everything worse. Like, it's
The thing about Mercy, and it's difficult to know if you don't play her. And no offense, you do not play her, and that's fine.
I
But the
used
thing
to
is that like
a lot.
I'm forced
depending on your
Jazz.
what I missed it.
Jazz just like you don't realize this, but you just like walked up to Astro, you smiled at him, and then you kicked him in front of a train, and that train has written on it, "Your support is in silver." And that was very
Oh,
mean of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding,
I didn't.
I'm kidding,
Oh no
I'm
no no no.
No, I'm kidding. I actually, you didn't do that. The reason that I said that was to try to stab Astro in the gut a little bit. So
Listen,
you're clear about
Listen.
You're really spicy today. Oh my god.
I'm silver in support, but that doesn't mean I don't understand the support heroes.
You have a very good
Unless-
understanding of the support heroes. You don't play enough Brigitte though, which is why you'll never climb.
Actually, I do play when I did my placements for support. I just played Brigitte.
Oh.
Man.
Oh. Shield
Anyway,
dash
ignoring
sound
the
effect
cancer.
plays in the background.
Well, Brig's not that cancer.
No, she's
Brig
not.
is great.
I like Brig.
I like Brig.
Brig is a
I'm
good
joking, I'm
example
joking.
of a multi-class done properly. And like Blizzard should look at Brig and be like, "Wow, this character is really powerful." And like super
Brig
good
has
in
so
the
much
situation she's good
creative potential.
Yeah,
in.
like
She does.
Brig.
She's
I feel
awesome.
like there's a waste of potential there, just making her heal so much. Like make her armor focused. Make her do armor things.
Focus her more on armor. Like, don't let her repair pack heal as much as it does. Just make it more armor focused, because that's the only like truly good thing at the high ranks.
Unique thing.
I
about
mean,
her.
guys, just given what we just talked about, like supports and stuff, and them being shitty DPS, maybe not right now. maybe when there's a few more
mean-
support.
No, I feel like if you brought Mercy and Lucio's healing up a little bit, I feel like that would solve a lot of the problems.
Okay, so back to my point on Mercy, because I'm just going to finish off. As I said, like Mercy's fallen under the mixture kind of category, where it depends on the playstyle and also the comp that you're in, depending on if she's a main or a secondary support. So typically, when you're really, really high, she's typically a secondary support because, you know, who dominates higher tiers? It's normally Anna, and of course, Anna cannot be a secondary support. Like no matter how much you try.
Although she has
So,
the utility to
Mercy
be one,
goes
which
in there.
pisses me off. That aside,
Outside anyway. And then with Lucio, it's kind of like I would think Lucio's like one of the supports that are like he's fine. Like
Yeah,
in
I
my
mean,
He's
personal
Lucio.
opinion.
I mean,
I think like making him heal even more is just kind of like. It's
well,
not really needed.
I would say he should
That would be
heal.
really-
I would say he should heal a little bit more, like in
I don't
AOE,
think
but
that-
he should heal himself less. Like,
No. It's funny stalling the payload.
fair enough.
Yeah. Frog go zoom zoom though.
Yeah.
Why ruin that? So anyway,
Funny
but, like,
Brazil man go fast.
Ribbit, this is my fucking property.
Yeah.
Jazz, you make a very good point, and I am in accordance of the things that you have mentioned.
Thank you.
I signed to pass this notion. I think that it would be very important to take a look at other similar games to Overwatch that have a class-based system, and to see that like there is a great distinction between these roles. One of the games that I can think of is Smite, which is a better example than League of Legends right now for a number of reasons, namely League of Legends being completely broken and in a state of absolute balancing nightmare. That's another
According
game, by
to
the way,
Zach.
where... What?
According to you.
I mean, that's what people have told me. I mean, I have a friend who's pretty good at the game, and he said that, oh yeah, if you're not playing these specific tank heroes, you're not going to win at whatever rank he is at, which
Oh, that
like
sounds
a weird,
familiar.
shiny type of stone. Yeah, right, exactly. But that's just because the tanks were bad for so long that they decided to overbuff them. Right, Riot Games has a lot of problems, not only with their FQA, but also with their balancing, but that's not the point. The point is that
Valorant.
if you... Oh, yeah, God. If you take a look at, like, the way that Guardians are handled in Smite, and you see that, oh, they are not just fat DPS, because they do considerably less damage than the other heroes who are the DPS heroes, who are all very quick, right? And so that's an interesting... Overwatch kind of has this represented, right? Overwatch has really quick and deadly DPS, more chunky and equally deadly but shorter range DPS, and then, you know, like, that's kind of like what you
Then
would...
there's the role that has to fight off said DPS characters.
Yes,
with
yes.
utility and DPS.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But then you
those
do
are the
have the
support heroes.
chonk. But then you do have like the chonk DPS, where like actually in the DPS category, like
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well,
Like
those
Reaper, May.
yeah,
those
yeah,
are the
McCree.
they're like the
Yeah,
the-
but do
the
know that
thick
there are
boys.
very few of them
Yes.
as well.
This is true.
Yeah, there's not that many.
You know, Reaper and May are like oddities, and I think like having those oddities spice
Bastion.
up the game. Bastion,
I mean,
his fat ass.
Bastion, I mean, he sure fits in his category, but yeah, he's Bastion.
He's Bastion.
Comment down below who has a fatter ass, Widow or Bastion.
The correct answer is Bastion, by the way.
No.
That man has a
Let's-
Lego brick.
Oh dear. Let's not get Astro started. We don't want this to go
The Rolla
Right,
Doobie Pack and cake, though.
Okay, we're doing fine. Everything's all right.
We should have a
Overwatch-
blooper
Overwatch will survive.
segment.
Listen, we don't kink shame here in BBB down.
we don't kink shame at all. By the way, talking about kink shaming, Astro's OnlyFans is up.
No,
You can
what?
go- so-
No,
OnlyFans.com/.
Donate and you'll see a single toe if you're lucky.
Yeah, all I do is post pictures of Sigma's toes.
Ah,
Are we done? Are we finished?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Everybody,
Wait,
have a nice day. It's been a pleasure. Bye.
Oh, this was fun. Anyway,
oh.
thanks for being here, everyone. Godspeed you all, and I'll see you on the next one. I'll have a couple videos up soon. So, bye bye.